Look at Pumpkin just
starving.
Yes,
eat.
Pumpkin's adorable.
I know.
She's just, I mean, look at that little chew.
Hey. Oh,
Do I kiss him?
She actually will give kisses too.
You're kidding.
She'll like lick you.
Oh my gosh, Matilda wants to talk on the mic.
Look at her go.
Matilda, I don't want you to fall.
so my. Oh,
They are.
That's it.
Oh, you just licked my nose.
Well,
Thank
follow
you.
me out. Hi. Oh.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining us. As you all might notice, we're in a different spot today. So we are on site at the Humane Society of Utah in their education room. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Caitlin, tell us a little bit about the Humane Society, if you wouldn't mind, and how it benefits animals like Gizmo here, which we have to introduce little Gizmo.
I know.
Hi, buddy.
Yes, so this is Gizmo here, and he is actually up for adoption.
Oh, Gizmo's up for adoption.
He is, and we think he's about 6 months old.
Okay.
Some kind of like Schnauzer mix, we're thinking.
Yes.
It's hard to say. He actually was transferred into our shelter from another shelter.
Okay.
So we do transfer in a ton of animals that are sometimes at risk. We'll bring them in here and help them get adopted. So he actually came from one of our local animal services. Yes. Yeah. So we don't really know much about his history, but he's quite adorable. Huh. Oh, yes. Yes. He's very snuggly. He just wants to be held all the time.
Yes, and here we are having him at the table.
Yeah.
Come here, Gizmo, and I will hold you. Come here, buddy. Come on. Come on.
He's got the greatest ears.
It's okay.
And he's a little shy today,
Yeah.
but he's been social usually.
Here, I will hold you so Caitlin can tell us.
Aw.
Stranger danger.
Oh, Mr. Gizmo.
Keep giving me a kiss. We're going to get you to come. Come here. One time, see me?
Oh my gosh.
Come on. Come on. Oh, you're okay. Come here. Okay, Caitlin. Tell us
Yes.
a little bit about the Humane Society and what
Yeah.
we do for little guys like Gizmo.
Yeah,
He's
so of
just
course,
letting go.
so the Humane Society, we are known as a pet resource center. So the number one thing we do is help animals that are in need by providing adoption services. And so we adopt out dogs, cats, and a wide variety of small animals that we have in this room today that we are going to hang out with and introduce you all to. But we not only adopt out animals, we also help pet owners. Obviously, the last couple of years have been a struggle for everyone with like housing insecurities, people losing jobs, things like that. So pets, sadly, are affected by that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we are lucky enough to be able to help owners because most people ultimately do want to keep their pets. They don't want to have to surrender them to a shelter. So we're lucky enough to provide a ton of different resources to people, whether they just need help with pet food. We have a pet pantry. We have a whole behavior team, so we can provide training resources, housing resources. So just a wide variety of ways to not only take in people's pets and help them, but to help people keep their pets as well.
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's a really important thing. Caitlin, tell us a little bit about, because you mentioned over the last few years, we've had, a lot of struggles that all of us have gone through. I mean, COVID, pandemics, all the things.
Yeah.
But even with right now with inflation, right? And all that, it, like you said, it affects the pets too.
Oh, yeah,
So tell us
definitely.
a little bit about some of the things that the Humane Society and other shelters are maybe going through.
Yeah. So what we're kind of experiencing right now is, like you just said, with inflation, everything is more expensive. So what's happening is people are coming in, they're wanting to adopt animals, but they're worried about not being able to afford the basic care for the pet once they get them.
Yes.
Just pet food is more expensive. Housing is more expensive. Pet deposits. There is a vet shortage right now. So even getting your pet seen by a veterinarian takes twice as long. So just all of those factors kind of create kind of a ripple effect.
Yeah, that's so hard, right? And we're going to talk a little bit more with Holly about costs of a pet. But Shannon's going to grab some more animals.
Yes.
You guys, we're at the Humane Society. And Caitlin, tell us what room we're in. We obviously have some awesome things behind us. But where are we here?
Yeah, so this is our humane education critter room. That's what we like to call it.
Okay.
So I actually run our humane education department. So all of these animals get to help me educate. Yeah, so they're kind of like my coworkers.
That's
which is really
awesome.
cool to have a bunch of animals for coworkers.
Yes, there are your staff.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
They do have bios on our staff page on our
They do.
website.
Oh,
so
fun.
Yeah, they all have their own little like job title information, things like that. So I take them into classrooms and teach children about them, just kind of their basic needs. If they ever want a specific type of animal, what to expect and things like that. So they help a lot. Yes. And
Yes,
of course,
so tell us
it's
who
just
we
fun.
have here.
Yeah, so these are our ferrets. So we have Nellie, which is who I'm holding. She is about 2 years old.
Aw,
and then
hi,
her
Nellie.
brother, Milton, who Shannon has right here. And he's about 2 as well. Yeah. All of our education animals were surrendered to the shelter at some point as well. So, and they just make really great little ambassadors. So
That's
we
so
decided to
fun.
kind of keep them.
I
Yeah.
love that. And Gizmo is not an ambassador.
Oh, are you trying to talk?
Right. He is up for adoption. Just a reminder, if Gizmo's still around when
What are you doing, Nellie?
when all this airs, which he might
Yes.
not be.
Nellie might want to come down. She's very adventurous.
Hi, Nellie. Hi.
She has no fear.
I have no fear of Gizmo.
But she definitely
my-
has.
Hear you. Yes, yeah. She's a master escape artist. Yes, that's why they have their fancy enclosure that we built for them. She can pretty much get out of anything. Yeah.
Hop around.
And then
So fun.
Milton, he's a lot lazier. You can see. He kind of reminds me of a little otter.
Yes, he's so cute.
Hey.
But yeah, you can grab him.
They're very social
bud.
and friendly, and
Hi,
yes,
bud.
they are.
You are so cute.
Yeah,
You gonna
ferrets
check out
are
this mic?
really,
Oh,
really fun
you're
pets.
okay. You're okay. You're okay.
Just
So
inspecting
fun.
things out.
But they are known for being really mischievous.
Yeah, he's fun. He's fun. So tell us a little bit. You're obviously going around telling classrooms, whatever that is,
Yeah.
what it takes to
be grabbing.
You want to grab Milton?
Milton, what are you
You're
doing, sir?
troublemakers.
I don't want him to fall off.
There you go.
No.
Okay. So obviously when you're visiting these classrooms or wherever
Yes.
you're going to do your education, tell us a little bit more. Like what does it take to own a ferret?
Yeah. So ferrets, like I mentioned, so actually the word ferret is actually Latin for thief. So that kind of gives you an idea of their little personalities. So they are really mischievous. They are I like to describe them as like permanent puppies.
Okay.
So they are very lazy. They sleep about like 18 hours a day.
Oh, wow.
But when
Okay.
they are up, they are just like nonstop. Yeah. So they do require people who can spend a lot of time with them. But they are really intelligent too. So they actually are easier to train than dogs, cats, and even some small monkeys, believe it or not.
Okay.
Which is incredible. So you do have to kind of be prepared. But the fun thing is a lot of people have free roam ferrets because you can potty train them too. So people will just let them kind of hang out in their house. You can harness train them. So both of our ferrets actually walk on a harness.
Oh, cute.
I know, which is really cute, which is always a hit with the kids because they get to walk them
Yes.
around. So they make really fun little companions.
How fun. That's
Yes.
awesome. So in addition to, giving expectations on how to care for the animals, tell us a little bit about the costs. And then Holly, I want to ask you a few things too when it comes to that.
Yeah. So costs, of course, just depends on the animal. What I always like to tell people is a lot of times people will want to get a small animal because they assume it's going to be less expensive than a dog or a cat. But honestly, it usually ends up costing a lot more money.
Okay.
Of course, with the supplies and things like that, a cage can be pretty pricey. But the number one thing with small animals is they are considered exotic pets. So they do have to go to a special vet if you have anything happen. So it can
Okay.
end up costing quite a bit of money with
Okay.
these little guys. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yes.
So Holly, obviously you're over financial education at Mountain America. Tell us a little bit about what we need to think about when it comes to adopting a pet.
Yeah. Well, the first thing I would make sure that whoever you are going to be sharing the responsibilities with bringing a family or a pet into the family and the finances, you want to make sure that you have those conversations of what it's going to take and really review what your budget is and start saving, right? Decide on a time that you're going to make that next step of getting that pet into your home and start saving for some of the unexpected expenses that come into after you get them home. You fall in love, you take them home, and then you realize that there's all kinds of things that you need to have around your home.
Yes. And speaking of that, we now have a hedgehog on the table.
Yes.
So Caitlin, tell us about, who this is, and then maybe a little bit about what we need to have in our home to take care of this cutie.
Yes. So this is Katya. She is an African pygmy hedgehog, and she's about 2 years old.
Oh my goodness.
I know. She's very sweet. She's very, very social. Hedgehogs a lot of times can be quite shy. So we were really lucky to find her because she's a very outgoing lady. Yeah. She loves meeting new people and exploring, as you'll see. But hedgehogs are really fun pets, but they do require some extra care. So a lot of people don't realize they are one of our small animals that do require a heat lamp. So they do have to stay pretty warm. So that is another expense you have to make sure you can fit in. And they are nocturnal.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So a lot of people do think hedgehogs are great pets for kids, which they can be. However, because their sleeping schedule is completely opposite, and kids, of course, they want to play with their pets during the day. So sometimes they're not the greatest pet to have, but they do make really fun little buddies. You can see here, so this is called her snuggle sack. They're kind of like little mini sleeping bags. So this is kind of where she spends the day sleeping. So the nice thing about pet hedgehogs is you can just like take them around with you, even if they're sleeping. She even has a little purse, so you can get like special made hedgehog bags that have holes in them. You can just like take them places with you. So even if they are sleeping, they can still hang out with you. Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yes. And they do make great pets for people with allergies too, since they don't have very much fur on them. Yeah. Yes, huh? Want to explore?
She's so cute. Okay, so when it comes, obviously, we've got to have money for a snuggles to sack and a heat lamp, right, for our hedgehog. But Holly, what are some of the other things that we need to be thinking about, when it comes to our finances and getting a pet?
Right. Well, it was mentioned like pet food, right? The cost of pet food has gone up. But there's, things around the home like, are you going to keep it in a kennel or some type of a cage? Like you had mentioned, right? They have to have a purse, but food is one of the biggest things now that we're seeing as a increase for people. I, for example, have a little 20-year-old cat. Go to the grocery store, and I think she eats better than me because it's so expensive to feed her. But, you're looking at when I'm talking about pets like dogs and cats, the medical that it may need, vaccinations, the chip, which is awesome when you adopt with the Humane Society, right?
Yes,
That's a
for sure.
huge savings.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of value for people when it comes to being able to have all those things included when they're adopting.
So Caitlin, tell us about that. So if we adopt from the Humane Society of Utah, what exactly is included?
Yeah, so all of our dogs, cats, and rabbits are spayed and neutered before they even go up for adoption, which in itself is just such an amazing thing that we can do, especially for rabbits too, since it can cost quite a bit of money to have a rabbit spayed or neutered. We also microchip all of them. They are up to date on their vaccinations. So it's a great deal when you adopt. Yeah.
So you had mentioned that there's a shortage with the veterinarians. So do you have a list of providers or veterinarians recommended?
We do, yes. So that's part of our pet resources. So we do have on our website, and then of course, if you're here in person, one of our staff members can definitely give you a list of vets that we kind of recommend or work with. Yeah.
And that's a huge value, right? Rather than having to test drive veterinarians that are going to be a good fit for you or pricing, you can really be, confident that the Humane Society is going to send you to a really great resource.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first got our dog, the things I wasn't thinking about, right? And having not just a new dog, but also Holly, I think that you were going to share an example of someone that had to maybe remodel a little bit because of their pet. And I can, share some sentiment with that too.
Right. Yeah. So our good friend Andrea that we work with, she did this great remodeling of her home, all new wood floors, including the stairs, and realized that her little senior 11-year-old dog could not make it up the stairs. And so that was an extra expense in the budget with having to put up a runner up the stairs. So, their little puppy that they've loved forever could get around the basic, with the homes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have 2 senior dogs that I rescued from here in their older age, and they both needed to get dentals done within a year. And each of those dentals cost $1,500. And so these are the costs that you're like, oh, wow, I didn't consider that this was going to be so expensive. And they need their teeth cleaned every year and checked. And because they're older and smaller, they're always needing to have teeth removed. So yeah, these are the costs that you don't think of right off the bat. And
and right, I mean, a lot of employers offer pet insurance as part of benefits. So I would encourage people that, to look into that with their employers, because, you may be paying $30 to $50 a month for that insurance benefit. But I've had to rush a dog to the vet who decided to eat a piece of the rug. And that was a $600 at the door to even be seen. So those are expensive. So when you're looking at that, there's a lot of value to make sure that you have that coverage in a situation like that.
Absolutely.
I love that. Really good things to think about.
Before we move on, I'm just going to grab Paul, our chinchilla, so that he
Yes,
can visit.
would love to see.
Is she okay right here, or should I put her back?
But she can hang out.
Okay.
Paul will like her.
Yes.
You can hang out.
We're going to have a table full of animals
I
before
know.
we're done here, you guys.
Paul. Right, he looks like a Paul, right?
Oh,
Yes, look at this Paul. Oh my goodness.
He is.
so that fast whisker movement, is that like happiness sign like a puppy?
Yeah. So chinchillas, a lot of small animals actually don't have that great of eyesight.
Okay.
So they rely on their whiskers, kind of like our fingertips. So they're really touch sensitive. So they use it to see if they can like fit through small spaces, and also like for balance. So he's just kind of making sure that he's not gonna fall off of me.
Oh, Paul is so cute.
Oh.
I have a cousin named Paul.
Do you?
I feel like Paul and Paul would get along great.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr.
Yes,
Paul.
so cute. So tell us about chinchillas. Are they nocturnal as well?
They are not.
They're not, okay.
Chinchillas are something called crepuscular.
Okay.
So they're most active at dawn and dusk.
Okay.
And rabbits are as well. So they are kind of most active when you're home, in the morning when you're getting ready for work, and then when you get off work. So they are extremely amazing little companions, but they are pretty unique. They haven't been our pets for too long. So there is still a lot to be learned about our little chinchilla friends. The biggest thing, though, is they are a huge commitment. Even though they are rodents, they live about 20 years. Yes.
Okay.
So you have to really be ready if you decide you want a chinchilla. Oh, as Katya's just trying to. Katya.
She's exploring.
I
She
know.
wants to get to the edge of
Fall
that
off the
table.
table?
Yeah.
She might, yes.
Okay. I will
Yeah.
on guard.
You can just
here.
grab her.
Okay.
But yeah, so chinchillas also are actually the softest land mammal.
Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
So
You have to feel her fur if you- or
petting
his
a
fur.
chinchilla is just like the most amazing
Okay.
thing.
Holding
Oh,
your
oh.
infant for the first time after a while. You
Gizmo.
Isn't
forget.
his fur amazing?
Gizmo fell
Oh my
asleep on me.
gosh.
And
Yes.
he'll
Okay.
just balance on your hands.
Gizmo, I got a hold Paul. Sorry, Gizmo.
It's like holding a baby. I don't know what to do.
No, you're fine.
Okay, Paul, I'm ready for you.
Okay.
Okay. So the best way is if you just have
Okay.
your hands flat like this. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll just set them down.
Okay.
So with chinchillas, because their fur is so unique, they actually have about 60 hairs per hair follicle.
Oh my goodness.
So they overheat really easily. So they don't really like to be cuddled like a lot of our other animals.
Okay.
So the
Which
best
was
way is
my
just
first
to-
instinct,
So let me
right?
hand him to you. Try this out. Yeah, he'll just
Paul.
he'll just balance.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Oh, but you are the softest thing.
Sydney.
Oh, Paul. Oh, Paul. You're a fluff.
What are you doing?
Amazing.
Hi, Paul. Oh my goodness.
Oh, they're
Okay.
so cute.
Oh, did you just try to bite me? You dead.
Sometimes he nibbles a little bit
Yeah, he nibbled on my finger.
to investigate.
Pepper's
Here, sir.
amazing.
He's so soft.
so
Okay,
soft. Really
all of you
soft.
need to come, make a donation to the Humane Society and hold Paul.
Yes.
Yes.
And you know, that is another great thing about adopting an animal from us is that we provide a ton of education too. So, you know, some people will get a chinchilla and not know anything about them and get them home. They start realizing, oh no, like they have to be in a regulated temperature room. You know, they need this much space. Just things that no one told them when they bought them. So it's awesome to adopt, not only because you are saving a life, but our staff members are well educated and well versed and can actually give you the proper information about the animal.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
I love that. Caitlin, you said Paul overheats.
Yes.
So what do we do to help Paul, aside from not snuggling him, even though we want to, because he's
I know.
the softest land animal,
yes.
right?
Land mammal. Yes.
land mammal. How do we help Paul not get so hot?
Yeah. So with chinchillas, it's very interesting. So they actually can't take baths like other animals do.
Okay.
So in the wild, chinchillas actually roll around in volcanic ash. They live in the Andes Mountains. That's the only place they live in the wild. But obviously our pet chinchillas can't do that. So you buy this magical dust, which I can show you, and you put it in their cage and they roll around in it a couple days a week. Because they have so much fur, if they do get wet, they can't dry completely. So they can actually grow like mold and bacteria on their skin.
No. Okay.
Yeah. And it sounds kind of silly, like to roll around in dirt or dust to clean yourself. But with them, it actually like pulls out any moisture and dries it up. So,
Okay.
yes. And a chinchilla dust bath is by far the most adorable thing ever.
Well, and I actually had the opportunity to attend the gala for HSU this year, which was incredible. And I learned a lot that I did not know.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to hear how dedicated your organization is to really helping animals. And I think that we can't tell that story enough, right? On really how the importance of animal life. And I don't know, it's just so cool. It was very humbling for me to hear that at that event that evening. And so I want to make sure that all of our viewers know, oh my gosh, come to the Humane Society if you're thinking about owning a pet. You're going to find your forever addition to your family here.
And we're also passionate about what we do here. We know that they don't have a voice, so we like to be their voice. So we like to advocate for abused animals, neglected animals. We go above and beyond in every way that we possibly can, even if it means working with legislators to change laws to protect animals from whatever it may be. We take that on very passionately.
Yes. And I love too that, yes, dogs are obviously man's best friend and we love dogs, but we love all animals.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
Not just dogs, not just cats. We've got bunnies and hedgehogs and chinchillas and rats and all the things. Here she comes. Hi. It's about time you made it over here.
Coming over to say hello.
Oh my goodness. I love her.
She's very friendly.
She's so cute.
You know,
Well, and
Yeah.
with Caitlin's program, working with students, there's a lot of studies that show that educating preschool age students so young really helps develop empathy, compassion, caring, integrity. So we're trying to train and educate those younger people so that we can have more caring and compassionate community members.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Because we are all in it together, right? It takes a community to be able to help our
for sure.
animals. Yeah.
Yes.
I love the educational piece of it.
Yeah.
Right. So people can come and meet and really understand what it's going to take to take care of this pet. And it gives them an idea of what they're going to have to be prepared for. And that's where they can just go out and really get the things that they're going to need that's going to fit within a budget, where they can go and look at, secondhand stores, marketplaces, gently used things that can be recycled and that they can use, and it'll save them a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Well, and so when it comes to adopting from the Humane Society, tell us a little bit about what that looks like from a cost perspective. I mean, we've talked about costs once we get the animal home, but what does it actually cost to adopt an animal here?
It really depends. Some of our animals are name your own price.
Okay.
So those are usually our senior pets. Senior dogs are one of the last animals to be adopted from the shelter because people don't want to take on those veterinarian bills that are going to happen right away or soon. So it really does depend, and our puppies will be more expensive. But as Caitlin mentioned, microchips, all the vaccines are included in the price of that.
Okay. Awesome. Love that. And then Shannon, I know we have a really awesome event, speaking of adoption fees, coming up in November. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yes. So it's my favorite event that we do every year. So Mountain America sponsors our Fall in Love event, which is a free adoption event. So you guys cover the cost of all of the adoption fees, whether it's a puppy, a senior pet. And we're having that the week before Thanksgiving.
Awesome.
Monday through Friday. And anybody can come down, no appointment necessary, and adopt an animal. And it's perfect timing for this event too, as most of our adopters or potential adopters are coming in and saying, we want to adopt a pet, but we can't afford the cost because of that record high inflation. So you guys are helping to remove that, one of the barriers of owning a pet right now. And so they can come get an animal, any animal. All of our animals will be available and they can look online. But we're doing something special this year that we've never done before is Mountain America is going to go in and go to some of the facilities.
Sorry, she was trying to jump.
Matilda, this is Matilda, by the way. And rats are super smart. They have a bad rap, but they are the sweetest, especially these two. Can she crawl on the table?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Matilda and who else here?
This is
Caitlin?
Carolina.
Okay.
Yes, they were named by some of our summer campers. So they are both named after Harry Styles songs.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. Yes, they are. How fun. I love it. Matilda and Carolina.
Yes.
Yes. So Shannon, you were just going to tell us something really important.
Yes. So Mountain America this year is doing something very special and unique. They're going to go with us to pick up animals from other shelters. We take animals from overcrowded shelters here to make sure that they're not overwhelmed. And if we have space, then we'll go in and bring them to our shelter. So Mountain America is going to go in. We're going to follow these pets from when we get them to when they find a loving home. Sorry.
No need to apologize. They're wiggly.
She is really active, Carolina.
We can
She
put her
is.
on my shoulder. It's
There
fine.
we go. Whoa.
She wants to be by
She
you.
loves me. Yeah, so we're going to try to follow the stories of the animals this year and see where they come from, what state they're in when we first get them. A lot of them are very fearful. They don't know, why they're all of a sudden in a shelter and where they're going. So we will follow those stories and then meet the adopters at the end and get to see them, in their homes. Hopefully our adopters will send in photos and we can feature them that way.
I love that. That'll be really cool. So once again, just to remind everyone, it's the week before Thanksgiving, right? November 14th through the 18th. You can come to the Humane Society. Do we need appointments? What does that look like?
No appointments
Okay.
necessary. We will be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Okay.
And we list all of our animals that are available for adoption on our website. So if people are like, okay, well, what animals do they currently have? And we try to provide as much information as we have. So their age, their weight, so that they can decide, okay, there is a pet that might fit into my family. And
Okay.
then,
I love that. For people that are wanting, maybe, that are animal lovers, but they don't have room in their home for an additional pet right now, how can they help?
Yeah. So volunteering.
Okay.
We always need volunteers. Obviously, we have amazing staff, but we can't always spend extra time with the animals. So we love our volunteers. They come in, walk dogs, hang out with our cats, clean, even help customers sometimes. So volunteering is a great way to give back. We do have quite a few volunteers that can't have a pet of their own. So this is kind of how they get their animal fix. Or even donating. And it doesn't have to be money. Supplies are needed just as much. So if you have like old blankets, towels, you know, if you're at the store and you can pick up some extra pet food or something like that and drop it off to us. So
we also have a list on our website, our Amazon wish list and we update it regularly of the top 5 items that we need most right now. So you can go online and see that list. Just type in Amazon wish list and it's there on our website.
I love that, right? And as we're kind of headed into this season of giving, don't forget to give to the Humane Society. You know, as we're thinking about, okay, we want to do something to help our community. This is a great way to help.
Yes, and I do want to give
Matilda.
I want to give Mountain America Credit Union a shout out because you have given so much to us over the last 5 or 6 years, I believe. You're one of our biggest partners, our most passionate partners, and we couldn't do it without our generous sponsors. So thank you so much.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you. Thank you for helping these animals and giving them a voice, like you said, because they can't talk for themselves, even though they're the cutest,
I know.
Matilda.
Even though this one, Carolina's trying to.
Oh, yes.
You trying to use the microphone?
Both of them love it. Oh,
Yeah, you can
here.
bring. Do you want to bring over the cute guinea pig? This guinea pig's got crazy hair.
Oh, yes. Let's see the guinea pig.
Can I put these 2 back?
Matilda.
They're fine. Okay. This is Pumpkin.
Oh, Pumpkin.
Oh,
Happy Thanksgiving and almost Halloween, Pumpkin.
Pumpkin looks like she has permanent bedhead all the time. Yes.
Sweetheart.
But it's actually her breed. They're called an Abyssinian guinea pig. So they just always kind of have these little like cowlicks all over their body.
Oh, so cute.
But yeah, she's our newest addition to our education team.
Okay,
Yes.
I love it.
I think that's another thing that people really don't consider when they are looking at a pet is grooming,
Yes.
right? Grooming can be anywhere from $45, $75 every time you go, and it could be monthly. So that's something to keep in consideration. But, you know, I have friends that take maybe that $75 and they've gone and purchased the things that they can do at home to save them. So if you're thinking that's a little bit steep and it may be difficult for you, there's always that option. And I don't know, like, how do you groom?
Guinea pigs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So there are actually some breeds of guinea pigs that their hair just continually grows. So they do have to be groomed. Yeah.
A little haircut.
Yeah. So you have to keep that in mind. And it's really hard to find groomers sometimes for some of these animals. I used to have an Angora rabbit and he had to be groomed like every 4 weeks. And I luckily had a friend that could help me with it. But I mean, it took a lot for me to be able to find someone that could actually help me groom him. And the cost, too, is very expensive.
And speaking of rabbits, I have 2 rabbits, and their teeth constantly grow. And so they need chew toys. But you can find boxes. People will list, you know, moving boxes for free on the marketplace. And then you can pick those up and they can just chew away at the boxes. So that, like you said, there are ways to cut costs.
Yeah. Family and friends is a really good resource too.
Oh, yeah.
So if you have family and friends that have a dog, getting them acquainted so that in the event maybe if you work out of the home a lot or if you travel a lot, there's a savings to be able to buddy up with somebody that is going to ask the same of you, or neighborhood dog walkers, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
So-
I have a coworker, and we trade off like pet sitting
Yeah.
for each other when we're out of
perfect.
town.
then you can enjoy yourself because you
Exactly.
know they're being loved and
Yeah.
taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Pumpkin has the cutest face.
Doesn't she?
So another question, in addition to obviously coming down and volunteering at the Humane Society, tell me about your foster program. What does that look like?
Yeah, so we rely so much on our foster families and are just so appreciative of them. Obviously, we get so many animals coming to us with just a ton of different things happening. So we get baby animals. You know, sometimes we need them to be bottle fed. Sometimes they come in with their moms, but they're too young to be at the shelter. So we like to get the whole family out and into a foster home. We get sick animals or injured animals. So fostering is just an amazing way to give back, especially too if you're thinking about getting a pet, but you're not quite sure what it entails. I always recommend maybe start fostering to see if it's something
That's
that
a great
you
idea. Yeah.
can do.
That's how I met my 2 dogs, actually.
it?
I'd never had a dog growing up, and they were like, hey, you should foster this cute little senior dog. And the next thing I knew, I was in love. And so, yeah, it's a great way to make sure it's the right fit and also that you know what's involved and that you're okay with it.
Yeah, and you can get foster information on our website, or you can just come down and go to our foster department and talk to someone directly. But when you do foster for us, we provide all the supplies you need too. So we will provide food, kennels, treats, toys, any supplies. We don't really want our foster families to have to spend anything out of their own pocket because, we're just appreciative of them like giving an animal a place to stay for a bit. So
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the situation where you mentioned the puppies, right? We don't want little puppies in a shelter. I'm assuming that's because they haven't had a chance to be vaccinated fully yet. What are some other situations where the animal needs to be fostered because, we don't have room for them here? Or what does that look like?
Yeah, so a big thing we get is a lot of medical cases.
Okay.
So I actually just recently fostered a dog for 5 months. She actually had to have both of her knees replaced. And it is hard sometimes to find a long-term foster home like that for some of these dogs, especially because she was a 90-pound like Mastiff mix. And so she was on exercise restriction. She couldn't walk, obviously, for a while. So I had to like carry her down, steps and things like that. So medical issues can be something that we, do rely on foster families for.
Okay. So if I can't volunteer, I'm not able to foster yet, but I want to help, we can donate, right?
Yes.
And so you obviously have your list, your Amazon list that we talked about that we can look at. But if I just want to give, let's say $5,000 or $5, whatever it could be, right? Whatever I can give, how do I do that?
The easiest way to donate is online through our website, and you can go to utahhumane.org/donate and all the, take your credit card and press submit, and that's it. I really want to see if we can get Murray to come out. Murray is my favorite humane education staff.
Here, let me put these little ratties back.
Murray, come on, buddy.
Murray or Murphy?
Murray.
Murray.
Named after Bill Murray.
Oh, okay. You guys
put him on the table.
Bill Murray's namesake has joined us. This is Murray, also known as Murmur.
Yes.
Tell us, Caitlin, about Murray.
Yeah, so Murray, he's about 6 years old, but I've actually had him since he was 3 weeks old. So he fit in one of my hands when I got him. Yes, and he is just such a special rabbit. So he's very lucky. So he is free roam in this room. So he can go anywhere he wants. It's completely rabbit proof. But yeah, he is our very first education animal. Yeah, so he's kind of like our little veteran guy.
Yes.
And he is a rock star. I will come in. Sometimes he's, we used to have different enclosures, and he's let the animals all free. He'll go and rip their cages. If anybody comes in his space, he's headbutting. He's just a character.
He really is. Yeah. Sometimes he frees the guinea pigs. Yeah. And then we'll come in and they'll all be just hanging out together. So, yeah.
Freeze the guinea
I
pig.
love that. Murray, he's an animal activist.
Yeah.
I love it.
For sure. And he has very stylish hair.
He does.
Yeah. And it's always doing something different. Sometimes it's up. Sometimes it's like combed to the side. So.
And why did we name him what we named him?
That's a great question. I don't know. I just looked at him and I was like, I think you give me Bill Murray vibes. You just have to be Bill Murray. So
I love it. I love it.
Murray.
Well, Murray has been we've got a piece of Murray in the air. I know. Murray has been quite the adventuresome dude today. Currently, the room is not Murray proof because of all of our cords from our cameras. And so he's been adventurous.
Oh, yeah. He
with
loves
us this morning.
He's like, look at all these new friends of mine, huh?
Yes, he's so cute.
Shoelaces, tassels, anything.
Yes.
Well, we can't emphasize enough, especially to our viewers, how much we love the Humane Society of Utah and how much we would love for you all to come down here, hold these animals yourself, open your pocketbooks, donate, whatever it is that you can do to help out this amazing organization. And if you are looking to get a pet, please come.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, think about all of the amazing things that you need to think about when getting a pet. So Holly, thank you for helping us think about that and what we need to budget for. But overall, get down here, help out these wonderful animals, and thank you all for being their voice.
Yeah,
You're welcome. And I don't know
Yeah.
if you just heard Pumpkin in the mic just there, but
she talking.
she agrees.
Of course, think about all of the amazing things that you need to.
Thanks, Pumpkin.
Yes, thank you, Pumpkin. Thank you, Murray. And all of our animals that have joined us today. We have to, of course, thank them for their amazingness. Especially that little Matilda. Oh my goodness.
know,
She
she's
was giving me a
precious.
run for my money. She's so cute. Okay, well, to all of you, thank you, of course, to all of our animals. Shannon, Caitlin, Holly, you've all been so helpful today. But thanks to all of you for viewing as well. And we would encourage you to make your way down to the Humane Society and donate or volunteer or however you can help. And we will see you all on the next episode of Guiding You Forward.